Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
We're like a week and a half away from Christmas. Yes. Yes. A week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Presents? You guys done shopping?
No.
No.
Next week. Probably midweek.
Yeah.
I'm too scared to go shopping, so I do it through Amazon now.
I picked up the one Christmas present I needed to pick up, so I'm done.
What was it?
You almost had me that time.
You hesitated.
Yeah, I did. You almost had me.
So I got something for you for Christmas. We're all dads now, right? So
We are.
what is like the number of gift you're supposed to give a 2 years old or a toddler? Like, cause I just feel like they're getting way too much. Is it like it's what am I gonna do with all those toys that he's receiving?
Yeah, basement.
Yeah.
Basement.
Basement.
So here's what we do with like the family members that like give him presents. Like they usually have a certain budget, and like most of that budget we put it like on the account for him for later.
Oh,
Instead
that's
of, like,
smart.
Yes,
Very smart.
That's smart.
I think it's more useful because at some point it's just what you're gonna do with all those toys, And what's the best present you think for a 2 years old?
A 2-year-old.
I mean, they could be happy with anything. Like a empty bottle of water.
It doesn't matter. You're gonna give him a gift, and
orange?
he's gonna go towards the box.
Yeah.
All right, so why do we still spend that much money for gifts if we know he's
Because
gonna be
everyone
happy?
else does it. You feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Although-
Prue's single-handedly fighting consumerism
Yeah.
right now.
We're on a three gift Christmas. So we do one that he needs, so probably clothing, something educational, and something fun.
So you have a plan.
For now.
Wow.
And I'm sure it'll, as he gets older.
That's good.
But this is all from you and your wife. It's not from.
That's right.
Okay.
Just
And then
from
the
us.
family do
Then the
whatever they
family,
want.
yeah. So, and then that's too much.
Yeah.
We just got Jacob like a freestanding Jolly Jumper, so we don't have to put it in like one of those door frames.
Oh, that's.
But we've used it already though. Yeah. So, but we got him that for Christmas, and then we decided just to.
He'll use it a couple times and then.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, Jacob's 3 months old. Where like he'll get so much stuff from family, we probably aren't even thinking of buying him anything. Although my wife's out at Carter's right now, so.
But here's the problem with
Probably not true, but.
that's the problem with everything you're gonna buy anyway. There's gonna be something on the internet that says this is dangerous for your kid or it's not good for the kid.
Yeah.
So it makes it tough. It makes it tough for Christmas.
I got my my nephew's like 1.5. I got him like a rubber golf set.
Nice.
So I'm sure, yeah, my sister and brother-in-law will probably be super pumped when like clubs are through drywall.
I'm gonna say my golf clubs are up on my calendar because my son takes it
Yeah.
and starts hitting stuff. I'm
Oh,
like,
100%.
Oh my TV
Yeah.
too.
Whatever, their problem. He's gonna love me. It's their
Yeah.
problem. So yeah, that's fine. And then I also got him like a little mini guitar with like push buttons that
Yeah, nice.
he can just play around with.
That's good.
Yeah. You know what we should do is we should give your muskie fishing business some free publicity. That's what we should do. That's what we should do.
Okay, so why didn't you guys come fishing in the summer?
Because
way.
you took me out last year.
No, that was 3 years ago, by
That
the
was
way.
3 years
Yeah,
ago?
Yeah. That was 2 years ago, 2019. 3 summers ago.
Yeah,
maybe.
but 2020 doesn't count.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it was
Yeah.
like a year ago. And
That's true. And then actually, I always look at that picture, by the way, you're squeezing the eyeballs out of the fish. I'm like, he's not coming.
I was very proud of my catfish. But yeah. I saw some of the muskies. Daryl that works at OSEG, man. Yeah, he didn't say he got a little guy. He was like, well, Daryl's a little guy, but it was like half of him.
Yeah, it was a good one.
He was all pumped.
It was an
See,
average.
now Daryl's gonna see this and he's gonna be all upset because he came up to me like so pumped up about how big the fish was.
It's big. It was
And now you're like, he caught a little guy.
I'm just saying. It was, it was medium.
There's
bigger ones still out there.
What's a big fish?
Okay, well, me and Laura caught a 52 inch.
held this
So that's 4'6".
Oh my God.
4'6".
I have no idea about muskies.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me. You're gonna tell me about muskies.
Would be the time of your life.
That's like 3/4 of my height.
I know.
Yeah, it's taller than Devante.
It's like it's the same thick.
Little Devontae swimming around him.
Just as elusive too.
Oh man, that's not gonna be good for me.
If Richie can do it, you guys can do it.
Yeah.
Did you help Richie?
Oh, Richie.
You must have had to pull it in for him.
Yeah,
and
Richie
everything.
screwed up a couple fish that day. Yeah. He got one in the end, which is a nice photo, but earlier in the day he screwed up a
I
couple
could just
fish.
see Richie probably loved being on the water too. Was he just blasting CCR?
Yeah, he
all
loved
day?
it. No, he loved
Probably
it.
had an American T-shirt on.
He tried to net one for me. Well, he kept trying to tell me how tough he was. Like, this isn't bothering me. I can do this all day. You know, like I get it. It's okay. You know, we're just sitting on a boat. But he tried to net one for me. And I have the net, and the pole goes into the net to store, so you have to pull it out. Any logical person would. You could know nothing about fishing and know that if there's a pole in the middle, it's kind of hard to get a fish in the net, you know? So I got one, like, as soon as I got out, and he tried to net the fish with the pole, and obviously the fish wouldn't go in the net. We ended up losing it. And I had to, and he's like, did I do something wrong? I'm like, oh.
yeah, you did.
You tried to hold the net. And,
See, Richie didn't tell us
yeah,
that.
he didn't tell you that. Yeah.
He told me that story and he said you screwed up. So I don't know. One of you's lying. So I was gonna go.
I know.
We talked about it a lot,
did.
and then you told me there was no drinking on the boat.
Yeah, there's
So yeah.
You can drink on shore though, and then
Oh, now you're telling me. I'll be there next
you
year.
can get as loaded as you want on shore.
We'll go shore fishing.
Can you around here?
Oh yeah, you can.
Well, okay, so tell me this. Why I always see people fishing in the canal, Rideau Canal? Like, I feel like, is it
Well, there's lots of
legit?
fish in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, they go in and out because the water's risen and then lowered, and you know.
Oh, it is.
But there's lots of big fish in there. It's very surprising. Yes.
You know who went fishing
Yeah,
in
you didn't
there?
know that? They lower the water.
All braids. Matt.
Yeah,
Albright.
he used it. Yeah.
He went fishing, and I think he might have cooked the fish.
Oh yeah, I was there.
He ate the fish in the canal.
Yeah, no, he caught
he
a
caught it
really
and then-
nice bass, and I forget who else was there. Someone else was there. Danny, it was Danny.
Okay.
And he catches a nice bass, and we're like, oh yeah, nice bass. And then he whips a Ziploc bag out of his back pocket, just throws it in the bag. And we're like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, we're gonna have dinner later. I'm like, oh.
So why isn't it good though? Like, why couldn't
Well-
he do it? Because it's the same water. That's like, it's not stagnant water,
Kind
is
of.
it?
It's kind of stagnant.
Well, you've seen it in some.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's very
It's still moving a little bit, I think.
kind of. Kind of. It's dirty.
So,
It's dirty.
all right.
It's
So you eat the ones that you catch?
No, God, no.
Never?
No, release them all. Yeah, you can't keep any muskie.
Pourquoi?
I don't know. It's the rule. Just can't. Well, they're not good eating, so there's no point in keeping them to eat.
Are they?
Pike, a lot of bones.
Yes and no, but they're also they take a long time to grow. So if you keep them, you're gonna kill the population. So they just protect them. But they're old fish. So it's like eating. I don't want to say it's like eating like a like an old person,
What do you mean old? Like, what must he live to?
like 15, 20
Are
years.
they like sturgeon, almost like the cousin of sturgeon? Are they?
No, they're the cousin of pike.
Okay.
Yeah,
See, I have no idea.
Pike is
cousin
like
or second?
First cousin. Pike's the uglier cousin. The muskie is prettier. Yeah. In some cases, they mate together.
With pike?
Yeah.
Do they have like pike muskie the hybrid?
Yeah, they're tigers, but they're infertile. So you know, they're just beautiful for like 15 years, and then that's it. But yeah, you can't eat them. Don't eat them.
So who make those rules? Because is it the same as the one that makes the new rules for CFL or things like that?
Similar, probably. Yeah, well, I don't know. Whoever the Ontario people that are in charge of fishing.
Okay, so
Why are you looking at me?
it's not federal.
Well, I'm just saying. No, it's not federal. Because in Quebec, actually,
Et voilà.
that's the only place in the world. Well, there's not much muskie in the world, but it's the only place you can fish for muskie through the ice.
Oh la la.
Yeah. And on the St.
And you can
Lawrence.
eat them.
No, you can't eat them. Although I'm sure a lot of French guys want to.
Yeah. Much like so who's gonna know?
Well, probably no one until that one time. If you've ever been fishing illegally, it's very easy. You're like, I don't have a fishing license. I can just go anywhere.
I signed up through the fishery
Yeah.
thing or whatever.
Yeah,
like
which is good.
One day pass.
But then the one time you go out and you go somewhere, then an officer comes out of nowhere and gets you. So,
Okay.
You know?
But like, it'd be a fine, I guess.
Do the boats have sirens?
No, they don't. They're like normal fishing boats. So you think, oh, here's another guy, and then all of a sudden you just like, you know, hey, let me see
But
your...
he's coming for a beer.
Yeah.
I got one
fishing
fishing
guy.
story for you, and you tell me how unlegit or legit it was. We were in Thailand. Me, Scott McDonnell, and two Andrew Liu that played for Redblacks too, and
Played for Queens?
yeah, and Webster as well from Queens as well.
Safety,
So the four of us were in Thailand having a blast, and we take this taxi boat. And we start like going fishing with them. So they all have like, you can ask any boat there and they're gonna find a like fishing gear and they're gonna take you on their boat. And so we're there for a good 2 hours under the sun and nothing pops up. Now the sun just starts going down a little bit. And we're a bit mad because like we paid for that and there's absolutely nothing on the line for a good 2-3 hours. I can't remember how long. And then he just closes his lights on his boat and say, all right, guys, now the action is really starting. So closes his light, go to this spot, man, and we just start like, as soon as the line is in the water, man, like there's 2 fish almost like hooking up on that line. And the only one that didn't get one was Scott for some reason, just super unlucky, but we all got like 4 or 5 or 6. And anyway, I just thought it was...
And what were you catching?
Snappers. Snappers. And then we go back to the beach to have them cooked. And those guys, man.
I like snapper, man.
Yeah, I like too when they're fresh, especially out of water like this. So we go to the beach and say, hey, can you cook it for us? And I see the guy, like we turn around, but I just turn back, like I give him the fish, I turn around, and then I turn back, and I see him switching my fresh fish for one that he had, that's been on the... I'm like, hey, so yeah, come back in 20 minutes, guys. We stand there watching him cook it the whole time. That was actually great. Anyway.
Yeah, that's legit. Fish at nighttime, they...
But I think we were in a coral, like, that's why there was so many fish, but I think you're
it
not
could
supposed to
depend
fish there.
too. If it's like musky, at least, if it's a high trafficked area like the Ritos, tons of boats, a lot of stuff going on in the summer. Night fishing is the best because it settles down, so then they know to go out and do whatever. But a lot of them go by the moon too, so you never know.
Where do you launch in the Rito?
Oof. Where do you want to launch from? We can go anywhere.
You probably launch
we can go
like
downtown.
2-minute drive from our house.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, where do you live? Riverside and what?
Well, no, I live like off River Road.
Yeah, so around there.
Yeah.
Like, Cars, Manotick,
So you launch it like the...
Kentville sometimes.
Yeah, Kentville. That's what I figured. What's that marina there? That's...
Kentville Marina, no, the Pirate Cove.
Yeah.
And then Echolands, are you close to there? That's like the middle section.
Yeah. I'm like because that's like right off of Limebank, right? Like where Limebank turns.
Yeah, I don't know roads, but I know sections of the river. There's a lot of water skiers on that section.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
I know.
Yeah. A lot of no-wake zones.
We can do that sometimes too.
Water skiing?
Yeah, we can do water skiing.
I'm not a big water skier.
Okay, fine, we'll fish.
Yeah. Whatever you want. Whatever.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We'll get a boat and just start water skiing around Brad. Just make waves the whole time.
It's basically what people do anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a business plan. I'm going to start a fishing business.
Okay, great. Well, I'll book you guys in for next summer. Just follow me.
Brad's going every day. Exactly. I don't have to know anything
Yeah.
about
I'll
it.
text you where to meet me. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Make it like from the shore, just like we said. Fishing from the shore with Brendan Gillanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's gonna work well. And drinking with Brendan Gillander, drinking vodka while fishing on the shore with Brendan Gillanders.
And then you can cook the fish.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I can do something else. I can be a drinking buddy. Everybody got.
And Nigel's there to save us when we all mess something up.
Yeah, you can be the safety guy.
Someone's inevitably going to be hurt, or we're going to be stranded at sea or something like that.
Oh, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save us, right? Because you did your firefighting.
That's true.
stuff.
You are.
Volunteer fighting.
Yeah.
And you probably have water safety.
No.
okay.
Not yet.
They do that at the Manotick station, though. where I
Oh, they
drive
do?
on,
Yeah,
They
that
do
makes
at my
sense.
station because it's so close to the Petrie Island.
That's true.
But
That
that's,
makes
that's a
sense.
full-time guy. So.
There's a lot of people that need rescuing from that section too,
Yeah.
around Petrie Island.
I believe that.
Oddly enough, a lot of people see rapids and want to go in it to swim, and then get stuck, and then get washed down to Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very strange.
Okay, this is probably the most dangerous job to have to do this.
Probably.
Like, Because you're
rescues?
Yeah, and I got a friend who does that back in Montreal, and what he was telling me is like they got good formation for it, but it's their equipment is a bit out of date, so they got to go up there. And there was a big accident. I think someone lost his life actually in Montreal recently because
There was like
Water's
2
scary.
months ago.
yeah,
Rescue,
recently.
he went down and then he didn't surface, but
Yeah. So it's like, but their equipment is a bit outdated. So I mean that doesn't help, but the job itself is super risky as well. Like I don't feel like I would ever want to do that. But
To make you guys feel better, I am doing my marine safety course.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us you're becoming a lifeguard.
No, you know I can't swim.
at the community pool.
Yeah.
So
You
do
know
you
I
need it?
sink, I don't float.
But do you need it to make the business legitimate or
No, but it's good to have.
It's good to-
Because
yeah, of
like,
course.
think about October and on, basically.
Yeah.
Like when the water starts getting cold, things get slippery. And
Yeah.
you're always standing on the deck. So anyways, it's just nice to have. But did you see that person get trapped at the edge of Niagara Falls, by the way, speaking of water rescue?
I did see that.
Anyways, very sad situation, but it was like,
People have gone over and lived, man.
yeah,
It's
in
like,
barrels in like 1930.
okay, but if you go over in a barrel and you live, then you
That's
might be
true.
able to go over in a boat and live.
It was in a car,
car.
not a boat.
Well, I would argue that a car is probably safer. It's got airbags.
Maybe, but it doesn't float, so you're not going to resurface.
I didn't say it would float.
That's true.
But I mean, like, you've seen every Jason
yeah.
Statham movie ever. He gets out of the car.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
There's probably nothing to it.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
Jason
safer than a
Statham
barrel.
survived, that makes sense. Yeah. Should try it.
That would be. Speaking of stuntmen, if you want to, that's where I draw the line.
You'd make a Jason Statham stuntman.
Yeah, thanks.
You're bald.
But I don't have the build.
Yeah, you do.
No, he's like 5'4". All the actors
All
are
of them
under
are.
5'6".
Yeah,
So that's you. Yeah.
2 months at Canadian strength and you're good.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Cut. Can we get more vodka?
Refill.
Jokes, no jokes.
Did you guys watch the Grey Cup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how you feel about.
I was bitter. I wanted the game
Football.
to get canceled and postponed until next year.
Oh.
That's me in my old age, man. I don't know. I think.
Like the Grey Cup?
I wanna-
You didn't want them to play the Grey Cup? Yeah, why?
I mean that I didn't want anybody to win. I wanted there to be like a blizzard and it somehow ended in like a tie or something like that.
I mean, almost. They went to overtime. It was close.
Yeah, I know it was close, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm just bitter. I find it hard to cheer for any of the teams or even like I don't know. Like I said, I'm bitter in my old age now.
Yeah.
It's harder and harder to
It only
watch.
gets worse.
Yeah,
I
it's
wasn't
harder and harder
cheering
to
for any
watch.
team, but you know what? I
Yeah.
still enjoyed the game. It started
good
off
game.
very slow. I was like, okay, here we go.
So here's the thing. Everybody is talking about Hamilton taking a knee at that point. And, oh my God. I honestly, like, it's one of those plays that if you take a knee and you go down and score and it pushes it to overtime, then you lose in overtime, it's the wrong thing to do. You know what I mean? If you don't take a knee, the problem is that people that don't play football don't understand that if you start a drive from your 10-yard line, your playbook is so limited. Trying to march 100 yards down the field
And you're going into the wind.
is so difficult. So difficult.
When you take a knee, though, it's not a guarantee. Like you gotta kick from the 35, or like, and then you get the ball like
Man,
close. You can get the ball close to the 50, and
They marched down and kicked the game-tying field goal. Exactly. Like that's.
I don't like taking a knee, honestly, and we don't. Like I know, like we have huge trust in our special team unit and all of that, but I just don't like it to take that knee. I think there's some circumstances, definitely.
Yeah, like the wind at Tim Hortons Field, though. Like that's the other thing people don't understand is the wind at Tim Hortons Field.
That's
is
right.
Crazy, like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, that's right. I didn't think about that.
Like I remember one game, like with Richie, we were talking about it. It's like, do we just like pooch every single kickoff? Because no matter what, like Richie's putting everything into it, and the ball's dropping at the 35-yard line. So it's like, what do we do? Like we might as well just sky the ball up there and try and like run and get it. Like.
But like we're talking about the win. If you get a kick after that, you're still gonna have that win as well.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have to like to kick it from the 35 with the win in your face, and it's gonna be an even shorter return, probably
Yeah.
a bigger return.
Yeah.
So
I guess, yeah, long story short, I'm okay with them taking a knee is what I'm trying to say in that situation. I don't think that, yeah.
The thing is, like, if he did come out and bring it to the 30, doesn't mean they're going to drive like they did down the field. There could be so many different things that happen, so.
Yeah, and then it's a game-winning field goal, but like you said, they still have to drive the field.
That's exactly.
Man, yeah.
But that's also one of those things, you're pinpointing something at a certain time depending on the result, when they also could have, like that second down when they're on the 4-yard line, if the ball was half a foot more outside, or even like a couple inches, they would have scored a touchdown, right? So like that play, you could so you can't keep going back to a certain play and be like, it's because of this.
No.
I kept thinking they took a safety. You're right. They just take the 1 point.
Yeah, they
put
just
ball
took
at
the
20.
1 point.
Yeah, it was all messed up. But still, like, yeah, if you start like at the back of your end zone, but in that circumstance, I think you don't take the knee.
But the other, I don't know, because I don't watch film, but I know in the NFL they call off returns or not based on how the cover team's coming down, right? Like they look at the blocking sometimes. What if you just saw that like no one was blocked?
Yeah.
Right. So taking it out isn't worth. I don't know, because you
There was
guys
some
know.
space.
I'm a specialty
But like, he was not going to be at the
the
5-yard line if he took it back. He was going to be.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You're right, exactly. We also don't know what he was instructed to do, whether or not it was his decision to take a knee based on.
I read it was his decision.
It was his decision.
The coach said, take it out if you want, but take a knee if you want also. So he's a young returner, so.
Yeah, that's true. And it is scary, like, I think taking it out into the wind
No, exactly.
is.
Anyway, my point is that people, it's so easy to get, for the media to get on silly little things that it's like during the game, no one, if it was us, no one would have thought twice about that decision either way. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
right. You can only say that unless it was the last play of the game that caused you to lose.
Yeah.
Right? Because you still had chances to win. Like they went to overtime, you still had a chance to win and tie, and keep the game going. But
yeah, exactly. If that put him down 4, then it's a different story.
yeah.
I think you need defined rules for that too when you're in that situation, because that's a lot to process for the returner. Like you don't see everything that's going on in front of you. You're trying to just feel that ball first, and then you gotta analyze everything in front of you. And I know that's part of their job, but I think it's a lot easier when all right, if you catch it like 1 yard in front of the line, take it out. And if there's nobody in front of you, take it out. Or like you put some rules in there where it's not just a feeling thing where if you feel like you got it, go. Then it puts a lot of stress on that decision for the guy. If he can fall back to his rules and go back in the film room and say, look, I cut it there. There was nobody 5 yards in front of me, so I took it out. But maybe it was like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said. Like I said that I'm okay with taking a knee there in that circumstance to make sure that you start the ball in a position where you have the whole playbook open to you. But it's exactly that, like you're saying. Like if it was us, I have a feeling we know it would probably be coming out with Devontae back there. And I mean, it's like Coach Dice always says, right? Like you get our defense against guys that aren't used to covering kicks. And it's like that O-line running down there, you can create a lot of space. And I mean, so you'd think that you have to err on the side of returning that. But like I said, in that given situation with those circumstances, you can't put the game on that kid. That's crazy. But also a hot take. I hate that you get a point for a missed field goal that goes through the end zone.
That's a problem. That's gonna change. You miss, you shouldn't get a point. You're right.
Yeah.
That's an easy rule fix instead of changing the 4 down football.
On Twitter, right? Instead of playing 4 down football, take away the rouge for a missed field goal.
Yeah.
So if you miss it and it doesn't go through the end zone, though, and you don't get it out, then you still get a point?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If do you know how it's like we said? Do you know how hard it is to tackle someone or to keep someone contained in the end zone? That's difficult to do, man.
If you miss
you got
10-yard field goal,
four offensive linemen and a long snapper running down the field trying to cover 65 yards. Why? Like that's hard, man. Like,
but as well as saying that though, I'm pretty much against all the rule change. I don't like rule changes. This game has worked for 100 years the way it is. And when we keep tweaking things here and there, how my job has changed over the last 10 years. Like when I first got in the league, playing defensive back was completely different. Playing receiver was completely different. And that's tough for our job because we prepare, we adapt, we prepare. if they change the rule in that next CBA, how do I know how to prepare for it in the offseason? Because I'm telling you, if I'm allowed to put my hands on a guy past 5 yards like we used to when we first started, that changes the physique that I got to show up here. I can show up at 210, 215, and there's no problem with that. So all those rule change it makes it hard for us. And they're talking about changing to 3 downs to 4 down.
That's crazy.
That's another thing that we're gonna have to change our body completely.
That's not serious.
I'm not watching.
That's not happening. It's clickbait, man. But like, and in all honesty, exactly what you're saying. That's why it's so hard. Like, coaching is hard in football right now because of how fast the game is changing. Like, people think that a big coaching name that was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, or even like a past player or something like that played in like the early 2000s and stuff like the football. It's so different now. It's like they almost can't be relevant. Like, what they knew back then doesn't necessarily apply to today, and it's difficult, man.
Yeah, just with some of those Canadian offensive linemen retiring this year, like I feel like all the offense has changed the way they run things. There was a lot of more max pro this year. They put in more fullback into the game, and most of these teams have changed the way they play the game. So you're right. You don't know that before the season started, and then you got to change your whole playbook to adapt.
Defense in general. When I came into the league in 14, and you'll know this too, it was like all man defense.
Yeah.
Like so many blitzes, so many playing man behind it, man.
So much more coverage zero.
That's
too.
what I'm saying. It's like now every single team is just playing cover 3, cover 4, and making you take the 5-yard passes and march all the way down the field because that's hard to do.
But think about like
If you, one-on-ones in training camp, right? So without the contact at 5 yards, you're standing there as a guy's sprinting full speed. You have no safety help. Yeah. How easy is it to just run a go and a seam, right?
Almost impossible.
Like almost impossible.
But that's why that rule changed. That's
Right.
why the defensive changed because playing man-to-man is not as efficient anymore as it was. There's still a way to do it, but you got to be sporadic with it. You cannot do that an entire game because there's going to be one-on-one matchup that are going to be easy to expose. And the thing that happened with that rule change and everything is also affecting the quarterbacks. And that's why it's tough now to develop young quarterbacks. When it was playing man-to-man, young quarterbacks don't have to process as much of what's happening defensively.
100%.
But with all those zones and those match coverage now, this is where experience comes in place. Like this is where you need to have good eyes and be able to read across the field and things like that. So it's going to take, if you take a guy like Caleb, that's why you cannot be too hard on the guy when you have a huff game because he's facing looks that he haven't seen before, and it takes years now, I think, to develop a young quarterback, and fans are going to have to be patient if they want to see more like guys like Ricky Ray and Calvillo and all those guys that have been great in our league.
Yeah, and also those people weren't, Calvillo and Ricky Ray, they weren't superstars when they began too. Like they had time to develop into it. But I always make a joke on offense how we never really know what the defense is. It would be like, well, I think it's there. So it looks like a cover 4-ish kind of, because in the CFL everything is so like just, it's not stagnant, it's moving, right? And you're like, yeah, it looks like this, kind of could be cover 3, but could be this as well.
That's the other thing too, right? Everybody thinks that the waggle, like on offense, like it makes it harder to predict defenses. When you're in the States and you can see contours and guys lined up over guys that are stagnant on the line, it's a lot easier to read that in the defensive back. When we're talking about guys and whether or not the safety's going to top or we're going to get like a Sam chasing, like, and when we change strength on offense, it's difficult to then predict like defense. And you used to be able to do that. Like you used to just go ahead and switch your strength from a 3-2 to a 2-3 and you'd get like a man zone read right there. And now it's not nearly as simple as that anymore.
But you know, like our practice, most of our practice are scripted, right? And sometimes like they didn't have time to put in like the plays when we're watching tape.
Yeah.
So just on defense, we're watching the tape without the script, without knowing
like, what is this?
What is the play. And first we look at how it's lined up and there's a guy like say, oh yeah, we're in cover 3 there. Oh no, wait, that's cover 4. And then we roll it back 2 or 3. Oh no, that was man right here. That's like like if for
so
us.
If you guys don't know, that's when in the offensive room we're like, yeah, I think it's this, but I don't know what Prue's doing. Like, he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, and you got to put in like all the bust that happens on the field too. Yeah. There's always it happens a lot that there's just 2 guys that, because the way defense is built, sometimes like 2 guys can just decide to do whatever they want on the field. That's because they know they're working together on that play so that they could be maybe cover 4 and match coverage would be the equivalent for them, knowing that they don't have to worry about what's happening across the field. So even like there's some adjustments that are made during the game. So it's hard to see the whole contour.
Yeah.
It's
But
tough.
I think that's why analytics are getting so big too, is because this instant stat processing of what are they going to do in 2nd down and 6 is more valuable than almost what the quarterback is seeing on the field, because your eyes can lie to you in a lot of circumstances. Whereas if you're calling the right play and putting yourself in a good situation, there's chances are you might be able to get to a certain receiver that's open and stuff like that.
That's why I never liked overly technical coaching, right? Like to me, it was always spacing.
Yeah.
And like older quarterbacks, like a guy like Hank was really good at, okay, technically I'm not supposed to go to this side because of the coverage or whatever.
Here I am.
But there's space because to me, it's a space game. Like that's all you're doing. You're just trying to find where the space is.
Hank was famous for that, man. Like throwing the fade to Z out there that has no idea that he's doing anything.
That's the part of it that like separates you from just being the same as everyone. Because then it's just weird. Like if you only have certain rules, if you can only do this against this coverage, then now you're literally just playing a computerized game, and like that's it. And you're taking out the human element of judging.
Being able to make plays.
Like this guy's, or even just knowing a matchup. Like I know that he's gonna get open on this 6-yard out, even though I'm not supposed to go there, right? Like
Is
just
that when
based on-
Hank's experience would come in?
Oh, yeah.
And he would just kind of like,
Hey,
I'm gonna do my
experience,
thing.
he was also really good at knowing what guys were good at what. So like there were certain guys that were really, really good at certain routes against certain coverages, and he just knew that this space is going to be here at this time with this guy, and I'm going to go there.
But the good thing about that is that it also makes the 5 or 6 receiver on the field run every play.
Oh yeah.
So because you don't know if you're gonna get the ball or not, and this is good in practice too, because like those 5 guys are gonna do it in practice as well. So that means the defense is gonna face guys that are running every single down.
Yeah, when you are like, okay, you're on the other side, we're not coming to you if it's cover this or whatever, and then you have guys trying to decipher, oh, it's cover this, so it's not going over here. Yeah. Like you don't know, right?
Yeah, I see it all the time. This is something, and it's not even like I'm not questioning the effort of the guys. It's a bit natural that
when you tell someone you're not part of a play, it's hard for everyone all the time to fully go how you're supposed to.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about this the other day. How we always something pops up when it comes to playoff time, and you're giving a little bit more. But technically, every game you're giving all you got, right? It's your job. If you don't do it, you might lose your job or you lose your status on the team or whatever consequences happen after that. So why is it that when playoff comes, the intensity automatically rises when technically we're supposed to be full go all the time? I just think it's unconscious. It's something it's not even part of yourself. It's something outside that just comes into play, and it changed the whole situation.
I think it's atmosphere. I think it's, you win or lose and you're going to the next stage or you're eliminated. I think that changes everything with the playoffs.
Facing not facing death, but like facing the elimination is like.
Yeah, it changes everything kind of.
And knowing that it's gonna be over soon too. I feel like it's because it's tough to get through a football season. So when you're at the end there, it's like, all right, like we're almost to our ultimate goal, man. You gotta empty the tank. Like whatever consequences happen, even if I can't play after this game, what's the matter with it? Like, because if I don't play my best, we might not be there tomorrow. Like so.
And then you have that 6-7 months to just think about what happened. You know, I should.
Long, huh?
Man,
It already feels long. We're just a month removed now.
No.
But I think a part of that too is coaching. Like in the season, coaches are in a pattern of game planning and like a certain amount of plays and effort goes into it. Then playoffs come and it seems like all of a sudden there's way more plays and more time in the film room, and it's weird because I think part of it is they also don't, in the season, they're conscious of not showing too much. I think a lot of coaches have stuff saved for when they get to the end of the season.
I think they said that during the Grey Cup. They're like, they have a lot of plays that they've been practicing all year, but they haven't pulled it out.
But they haven't put it out, Or they've been showing something to show the other team, like, this is what we do on second and medium a lot of the time, right? You're setting up a pattern to think, like, this is your pattern. And then when you get in that game, now you're going to do something off of it. Or the same look, something different.
You like that, or you're with that, or you're not with that?
I think it depends on who you have. If you have a veteran group of guys, I'm okay with that. If you're younger, I think it's too much.
And it depends where you stand in the season too. Like, if you're like leading the league right now and you're comfortable enough where those guys are not gonna make those games are not gonna make or break your season, then I think you can start setting that up. But the one thing that I'm also worried with doing that is like, this is also what took you there. This is what made you win football games.
That's the other part.
So if you flip the script and start doing something else, what is to tell you that it's all gonna work out for you? You know.
But that's the part where it's like, if you see a guy that something is working, if you have bread and butter plays on offense, right? And if you can slowly detect as a player, this play is getting a little bit less effective, like as the season goes on, then you kind of know like it's time to start shifting away. If it's still working, why go away from it? Like that's what you are as a player. That's the one thing I didn't. I never liked about it being too many plays and like. Anyways.
How many times have we run lucky during like that playoff run and the Grey Cup? Like how many times that was our second down play, second medium, it was almost automatic. They knew the slant was coming.
Oh,
and
Lucky's, I just let it go. I'm like, whatever, you guys got this.
Lucky. Yeah, I know you're talking about Lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Lucky.
But that's
A lucky slant.
I'm not even trying.
A template slants into space.
not ooh.
But that's another one. Like you're only running looky slants if you have a veteran receiver that like Brad,
right?
E-Jack, like you and E-Jack were.
Because I also
You got
know,
paid a
like,
lot
if
of
I'm
money to
running
run
it on
lookies.
you, that's true. Flats and slants.
Flats and slants.
If I'm running it against you and like I know that also you're a veteran and you're gonna probably pick up on something that I'm doing eventually, I'm completely playing a game with you every time it's called versus like a young guy might just be running the slant every time, right? Like it's this at 6 yards or whatever it is and that's where I wanna be. But to me, I'm trying to like play this like triple thinking game of like, what do you think I'm thinking about what I think you're thinking?
It's like playing rock, paper, scissors. It's just like playing rock, paper, scissors.
Okay,
You know that I'm running a slant here.
You did rock 5 times. You're not going to do it again. But you did.
Or I'm gonna do it the same because I think he's gonna think I'm gonna change it. yeah. I mean, I remember most of our one-on-ones in practice, we were always going against each other, and that's exactly what it was. You were hitting me with a move, and then I was like, okay, what's his?
And then I would ask you, what do you think I was gonna do?
It was lots of fun. Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing. No different than the post on GG.
That's true, yeah. We just
Exact same.
Found different ways to get to it, just to think, that they're gonna think, they've done it this many times, they're not gonna do it one more time.
Well, there's just one of those concepts where even if you know it's coming, I feel like there's still no coverage, other than maybe man-to-man, that keeps a man on a man in that. Like
Two-man's the hardest because.
But man-to-man in general is good. But two-man because he's under it, so now it takes a perfect pass.
That's right. If he undercuts it, it's horrible, but it's also okay because the middle of the field is open. That's where you're getting to.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's still some like
it's
if
tough
you
to run
in the
against
middle,
press.
Yeah.
That's because you're supposed to be slow.
I mean, if you're in true two-man, then the ball should be given to the running back anyway.
Yeah, but you know.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Read one,
Story
throw
of
the
my
GG.
life.
Read two, throw the
Well,
GG.
you give it to the running back in 2nd and 14.
At all
That's the
costs,
problem.
throw
Like
the
most of the
GG.
time that this play is called, there's a specific situation where you need to throw the ball.
Yeah.
But that was Hank. Hank always threw the GG.
Because it's always open, man.
Always found a
even
way.
when it wasn't, though.
two verticals to lift
Yeah.
both safeties, and then, like you said, like the
Are we
post
giving
can
away
still
secrets here?
Yeah, I know.
You guys don't run it anymore, though,
We're
right?
not.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for Edmonton.
That's true, yeah. I think that play is now going to be on the shelf for like 10 years until it comes back.
Until it comes back. Yeah. By you.
When I come back, we're coaching. It's like, I'll come back in 10 years, 43, or however old I am.
But that's exactly what it is, though. It's always it's the circle like this.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
And, things are put aside and they bring them back. Like there's that many new things that just comes out of the blue and a new concept, like a new genius concept that shows up out of nowhere that hasn't been done
There's only
before.
so many ways you can do things.
It's
man.
all copycat. It's all copycat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your position is probably a position that has the less change in the last few. Like, what has changed on the front end?
The only thing that changed is, guards popping out or centers popping out, but everything hasn't changed that much.
Yeah.
Well, probably body types, though.
Body types,
Like
yeah.
going against guys.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot more
the O-linemen are-
athletic and
yeah.
slim now, quicker. But other than that, they don't have the big guys they used to have.
Because on the offensive line, the same thing is happening. Because those guys are moving a lot better now than they were moving, I guess, a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Or am I
you
wrong?
see
I
like
don't know.
combines and they're like guys are running sub 5s and they're 300 pounds.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
that's freakish.
But what changed first, the O-line or the D-line? Like, was it a D-lineman who came in that was skinnier and faster, and then they're like, oh, we got to get a quicker O-lineman, or was it the O-lineman that they wanted to be more athletic? Chicken or the egg?
Well, I feel like what happened is training has changed.
Right.
But training has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like it all comes from that. Like the way that people are preparing now, the O-linemen are a lot more fit than they used to be, and I don't think it was that much of a demand from the sports more than the training techniques and the time that people are putting in the gym now is like no, everybody's going to be an athlete on the feet on the
That's
field.
true.
now.
Everyone's doing everything.
Yeah.
Like O-linemen are doing sprint mechanics and like everything.
Yeah, there's very few guys that gonna come to a training camp without having lift weights or doing all the running stuff or things like that. There's still some guys that can do it, but not a lot of them. And we've seen it this season where guys have come a little bit, like because of COVID, we didn't know, right? So a lot of guys didn't have that as much time to prepare and stuff. There was not that many. I think everybody was able to kind of do something, but we've seen it from some guys that didn't show up as fit as they used to be. And
I'd say there's a lot more injuries this year.
Yeah.
Injuries were
You could tell by the Achilles tears that were minutes apart in the same team.
Once that happened, everyone was like stretching their Achilles. And I'm like, that's a freakish thing.
But man, how
Yeah.
does like this? They have 4 guys in the same training.
Yeah.
So you get one,
The team
you keep
that shall not be
going.
named.
Well, you just move the drill down 10 yards, right? And you keep going while they're at 10. And then
So they were
all
working a half field
Yeah,
drill
then
by the
another
end
one
of it?
happens.
Yeah.
But then at the end, you're just doing red zone.
I just don't understand how you get to 4 guys
Yeah.
getting injured on this.
You're irresponsible.
You would think after maybe the third. Where the second one, you're like, wow, that's bad luck. But then the third, to me, is
Yeah.
I would just end it there.
Yeah,
Say, okay, this is it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we're not going to see that happen again.
No.
I think that
Hopefully.
people are going to be more conscious of that. But the worst thing is from the P perspective is that's all we were talking about. Like we had a return to play protocol with those guys that was supposed to be in place, and I think most team has done a good job at it. I know, like here in Ottawa, they did a tremendous job at that. Like guys that were even coming in midway to training camp, they had a good like 4 or 5 days on the field training before even hitting the field with the rest of the guys and doing football drills. It was,
yeah, not just going right in.
right
cold,
into it. Yeah, exactly.
like they used to when they used to work people out right off the plane, off the cab. Okay, run your 40.
Run your 40.
Yeah. Well, this is all a problem on how they have to manage cap and bring people in
Right.
with. They have to have a contract before coming here. If they could
Yeah.
just have like a.
Can't just show up and work them out and see.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you could at least bring them in without having a contract, there would be
Yeah.
more guys there, and you could take more time to evaluate them.
Right.
If they're under contract, you got to pay them, so every minute counts, right? And from the moment that you get there, we got to be in and out with it. Like you cannot waste any time. If we
Right.
could have those pro tryouts, which they got in the NFL, I think, like it would give a bit of space and more time for these guys to get ready.
Very interesting.
We-
So, who was your guys' roommate on the road this year?
Brad's getting jealous here.
No, I'm not jealous.
Oh, you're jealous.
I was asking them.
No, you.
Well, who was it?
I had a good roommate this year.
I had a great roommate too.
You guys had fun?
Yeah,
Probably not as much though.
we ate lots of candy.
I bet. Lots of giving.
I was rooming with Nigel.
Oh, there,
That's good.
I was wondering why you both sing the same thing. I was with Marco for a bit. He snores so much.
Oh no, then you had to switch? Then you had to switch?
No, I stayed
Okay,
with him.
yeah.
It was fine. But like I
How many
switched.
pillows did you throw at him?
I was just coughing to try to wake him up. But and then I was with Stafford 1 week because Marco was hurt.
Interesting.
Yeah, such a great dude, man. But I got one thing though that I was a bit pissed about. We never talked about it. But
Yeah, there it is. Coming up. What did he do?
he's got this thing. It's like an Apple TV with like all the film and things on it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we talked a bit, and I was like, yeah, I don't mind like falling asleep with the TV on. Like that's no problem with me. Like I usually fall asleep with my iPad and my headphones on.
Yeah.
So we're both like super like, yeah, do whatever you need to do, get ready, and it seems like a really fair conversation that makes sense before games. So he starts watching like on his device on the TV, and for some reason the volume with that thing was a lot higher than the TV could go to. So it was. I had my headphones on, and I was hearing his device more than my headphones. And I was like, okay, at least it's not late.
So you didn't say anything?
So I was not saying anything, and then it started to get a little bit later, but it was still fine for a pre-game thing. Maybe it was like 10:30 or something. And I saw him like take the remote a couple times. He's gonna bring it down a bit. Every time he was increasing the volume. And I was like, there's no way you're not hearing that thing properly right now. Like I felt like, you know when you're at the cinema and you're always like shocked by those first few minutes because the sound's so loud? It felt like that for an hour and a half. Anyway, but it was, he shut it down later and it was all fine. I was like, at that point I was starting to have anxiety as to how long is this gonna last for? But he shut it down at the right time. I gotta give him that, but it was just so loud.
Yeah.
That's good.
Communication is key with a roommate on the road.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I thought we set that up at the beginning, and I realized maybe my language barrier got me. But I should have told him earlier. But it was, as I said, I had this time frame in my head. I was like, if it goes, let's say, past 11,
Yeah,
I'm
then
gonna
you'll
tell
say
you.
something.
But then it stopped right before.
Push back.
And I was, I was happy I didn't have to address it. I'm not super comfortable
Yeah,
in
that's
those
good.
situations.
Yeah.
But still a good roommate. Still a good roommate.
And when do you speak French when you're with Marco, or do you guys speak English?
Yeah, we speak French.
Interesting.
Because here's the thing for me that happens in English. I think my English now is pretty fluent and I understand everything, but it takes me a little extra energy to speak English, and my attention span, time frame, like my attention.
Span. Yeah, you're good.
How do you say it though?
Attention.
I like how we both were in agreement that but we let him try to figure it out.
Yeah, well, I
See what
just
other
didn't know
words he
because-
comes up with.
See where this goes. That's how I.
You were right the first time.
See, that was
I
not
like
as
hearing
fluent.
the words he comes up with.
Yeah, me too.
So my attention span is not like as good as in French, so I zone off really often. So this is good for me so far, because usually conversation like this, I'm just gonna zone off and start watching the lights and stuff, and I'm just watching the Siberian tigers in the background here.
Those are Siberian tigers.
Suburban? Oh, Suburban.
It was funny.
Where are the birds, guy?
Go for dinner, like Gilly and I would go for dinner, and then we go back, and he's like, yeah, usually Brad would, get some sweets. I knew it was killing Gilly. I knew it was killing. I'm like, I'm not much of a sweet guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why Brad and I would be.
Get a bag of candy.
I'm like, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, Nigel would be eating like mixed nuts and healthy stuff, and it was killing me.
Unsalted, probably.
What's your policy about like having a beer in the dinner before the game?
I drink beer at dinner before the game. That's my policy. I drink beer the night before a game.
Like 1, 2? Where is it too much?
I normally cut myself off at 2.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
2.
If the army can have 2 and still go into like active combat, I feel like I'm fine to have 2 like a night before a game.
That's such a good thing to bring. It's like that's the best argument.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that in mind. Because there's always one guy that's gonna judge you a little bit for it. Like, are you guys having drinks? And everyone, especially, I don't know, I think that the younger people are, the more strict they are with things like that. And like I was going to dinner often with all the French guys, and they're all sticking to water.
judged, yeah.
And then it just takes one though. Then, oh yeah, I'll have a beer. And then everyone looks at each other. One of them's a bit judgy, and there's always a second guy that, miss, yeah, I'll have one too.
Pass it down, just keep it going.
Yeah.
So.
Antoine did it, I'm okay.
Here's the thing. I feel like the benefits I get from having the 2 beers and just relaxing outweigh like any detrimental thing that it like. There's no way. It's 2 beers. It's like.
Yeah.
But
90% water.
do
We have a
what
full
you're
like
gonna do.
24 hours. Exactly. Like.
It's like showing up to a game too early. It's like guys are gonna want to do the right thing and like, okay, I'm gonna go before a game stretch. It just tires me if I'm there for too long.
That's true. It is draining.
You're just alone with your thoughts of how bad you're gonna play.
My ideal scenario.
Yes, I knew that would get you.
If you have too much time to think about how many balls you can drop, it's
Yo, that first
Bad.
half an hour before the game, like when we get in, like after warm up and stuff, and now you're just in your locker room with your thoughts, just like, is the worst part of football. I question every day since day one while I'm playing football during that half an hour. Why am I going there? And then we hit the field and everything is gone. But during that half an hour, I feel like half of my energy is gone because I'm just super negative and thoughtful. And
That's what I used to think on the opening kickoff. And I would watch you guys run down, and usually the collision would happen right in front of my face, and I would just be like, "Oh my God! Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you guys?" And then I would look at you guys just kind of wandering off the field, you know, because you just smashed into someone, and I'm just like, "What is this game?" And then I run out there, and then you get smashed, you know, and you're like, "Yeah!" And it doesn't matter, but man, there was like 15 seconds of every game I would question, like, what is going on
of
here?
course.
I do the same thing. I watch film and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
like,
my gosh, what am I doing? That looks
Nigel, why'd you
insane.
use your head?
And then I'm on the field and it's like totally fine, like normal.
Especially with you got like with your position on kickoff, you got some of the worst collisions that are gonna happen there.
Oh my God! 2019 opening kickoff in Calgary. Remember?
No, I know.
Opening kickoff of the season in 2019 in Calgary. Calgary plays with like defensive tackles and offensive linemen in wedge. Yeah, I hit that as hard as I possibly could, and my ear started bleeding, and my helmet was broken. And Brad was the first person I saw when I got off the sideline, and he was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Good times. Good times.
Not worrying about what personnel we're in, what the play is. I'm like, is he okay? He was bleeding from the ear, and he's gonna come in the next.
So it happens still like right before when you're on the sideline.
That was the worst time for me. Like, I always hated the whole rah-rah thing in the locker room.
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm like,
you get all jacked up, and then you have to wait in the tunnel. Then you got to run out. You know, especially if you're at home, you got to run out. You wait for all the stuff.
But
National
when,
anthem.
even when Hank was doing the pregame speech,
Unreal.
I mean, yes and no. I was in it for the moment, but then I'm like, okay, I'm all jacked up, but then there's still like 5 to 10 minutes of.
but Nigel and I have like you go off and do your own thing before the opening kickoff too, right? That's what I'm saying. Nigel and I both like, I don't know. Do you do your own thing before opening kickoff? Because when you start the game on like kickoff or kickoff return or
Would you
whatever,
rather kickoff or kickoff return?
I would much rather kickoff.
Okay, me too.
Like
I would rather
99
kickoff.
of 100 times
Okay.
I want to start the game on kickoff.
It's like KOR,
But-
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, guys running at you full speed. It's I'd rather be the person running down there, and then
Yeah.
Back when I was on special teams, I way preferred kickoff, so I didn't have to be on the field because I was on KOR.
Like in your head, you're trying to do the physics between like somebody running 40 yards straight, like full speed, and you like running backwards and then kind of taking an angle and stuff like that. And you're like, if I do this properly, like I might get a good shot on them. But like, there's also that like 75% chance that you're just gonna take them on after them running full speed. Yeah.
Do you remember the Hammer? The guy. Do you know this guy, the Hammer? He played in Toronto.
The Hammer in Toronto. Oh, that was literally
Robert McCune?
the year before I got there.
Okay.
So I went to I was in training camp with them that year. and went back to Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah. I do remember that guy though.
Because I think a lot of, they called the Hammer block, where you look at someone and then you block the next guy, was from that guy.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was a scary dude.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not gonna lie.
In
He looked
Calgary.
Like, you know the like Under Armour, like when it first came out.
Oh,
they
like
had
the
that,
mannequin?
Like, massive.
Yeah, you're like, no one's like that. And then that
it was
guy?
that guy.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God.
I know. Yeah. It was that
And he runs a 4.5?
well, there's just so many more guys like this. I feel over the years, it's like some guys truly understands now that you can make a career out of being physical and doing that stuff. But it's always, I'm saying that it's always been like that. Because like I remember as a rookie when I first got there, that was the craziest shock for me was special team. When like I was in that punt, because back then I was not a gunner, I was like inside, and just having to deal with all those guys inside, like you could tell these guys are winning their life out of doing this, and I was shocked by that. It was just so physical. I felt like I was at war. Like, and it's still like that. But I mean, now I'm a gunner,
Now you're
so
on the outside.
I'm on the outside, keep it contained.
You're like, hey, what's up, Gilly? Hey, what's up, Nigel?
Like, I mean, it's it's
Now,
different type
you
of
have an
job.
important job, but it's a different type of job.
Yeah, well, exactly. But the thing is, yeah, I'd much rather. I mean, I'd rather do what I'm doing than having to go inside, get ran into as a personal protector or.
Have you ever returned punts? Did you ever return a punt?
In university.
In university? Did you ever return punts?
No, field goal and kickoff, but not.
I've had 2 kickoff returns.
Yeah.
You probably
Because I was in the back wedge and they squibbed it, and I'm like, okay, here we
So
go.
what's your average?
I think it's like, I think my one was 10, and my other one was like 2. So give or
Yeah, that's
take
good.
6, 5.
You have a 10, you have a double
My
digit.
first one is in BC. I caught it, and I'm like running. I'm like, here we go. Solomon comes running around. I just took a knee. I'm like, that's it. Secure the ball. That's it.
Career decision.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's how you got to do it, though. You just want the ball and go run straight vertical.
Exactly.
And that, or you pull out your highlight tape and you give your best juke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we open one? No,
Yeah,
open
they're
the
real,
coffee
right? They're
one.
not props.
The coffee one. Okay.
Give me the maple one. Oh, you're gonna open just one?
We can. Yeah, we'll put it on our tab. We didn't even ask.
Which
if
one
we were
is?
allowed to
Which one you want?
Greenberg has.
No coffee though?
Yeah.
So what we got here? Chocolate cream. Which one you want?
Is this so? Did you just have the whole thing? Or were we gonna? I thought we were splitting
Which one is that?
This is the coffee cream.
This is maple cream liquor. This must be good.
Yeah, try the maple.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to judge.
Je vais essayer.
Did you guys? You must know because you're
There's coffee.
Quebecois.
Oui.
But they had to
You're Quebecois.
open up the the maple syrup reserves.
The National Reserve.
Yeah, the National Reserve.
Open up the National
to,
Maple
to
Syrup
even out
Reserve?
the. They had to go into the stock because there was.
Somewhere in northern Quebec, a trap door open.
No, it's way up north. And but yeah, I read that not too long ago.
Yeah, I know.
They have this giant stock of maple syrup they use it to even out the market when things
Do you know
get a
you
little
can get
hairy.
maple syrup from oak trees?
No,
Oh, maple syrup. What's it called?
Yeah,
Oak syrup.
oak syrup.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
It's true.
But
Fact check.
Yeah, who said that though?
Check.
Canadians or Americans?
I don't know if.
Canadians.
No, probably out west though.
I said that.
UK. Yeah. Well, I don't trust you one bit then.
Yeah, I mean, I might be lying. I don't know.
That's true.
Do you watch?
Josh is googling it right now. We're fine.
Yeah, look it up and then let us know.
Yeah. Can you get maple syrup from oak trees?
What was that?
I'm like
Maple.
82% sure you
Did
can.
you not?
It's just not efficient. I put it back. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you watch on Netflix Money Heist?
Money heist.
Heist? Yeah, Heist. Perfect. Merci.
Yep.
Okay, hey, let's rewind. Hey, do you watch on
coffee.
Netflix Money Heist?
Yes.
That being said, like Quebec is doing a version of that with the maple syrup reserve. They're doing like a movie on,
See,
on people's.
you were smirking when you said that, and I don't believe you.
Why?
I was at a wedding venue, and I was told that you can get maple syrup from oak trees.
Was it your own?
You just
Okay.
don't tap them because it's not
It's
like
oak syrup.
It's not enough that it's like worthwhile.
So what do?
You tap it the exact same as a maple
Well, no, you said you don't tap them.
You can get syrup.
because it's not as efficient.
Oh, you're saying
maple tree.
you don't do that,
Because.
but you can.
Because you'd have to do like I don't know, like 20 times as many trees.
Yeah.
To get the same amount.
That's fair.
I also could be making it up.
Fact check.
We might have to take out this
Without
entire
coffee.
section.
No,
You're pretty much bang on. Like you can tap it, you will get some syrup, but it also tastes completely different.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's not maple syrup.
So I was 100% right.
No, because it's not maple syrup. It's oak syrup. You can get syrup from many trees. It's just
I mean,
not-
all trees have sap. You technically can.
You know what show I'm addicted to is The Curse of Oak Island. Speaking of oak trees.
Never heard
Oh,
of it.
that's the dumbest show.
Are you guys?
It's a fantastic
If something would
that on
pop
Netflix?
by, if they would find something,
what do you mean if they found something? They found
something relevant, it would be on Google tomorrow morning. Like if there was a big treasure, you would know before the show airs out.
what if the treasure was gone already?
Is this real? Like you're trying to find a treasure? Not you, but that's what the show is. It's real.
Yes.
It's called destroying the environment of an island. That's what it is.
Did you watch the? It's Thursday today, so Did you watch The Bachelorette on Tuesday?
Why you're saying that? Like, we still gonna hear you, man.
No, I haven't seen it. I just
Did you
was
watch The
wondering.
Bachelorette on Tuesday?
Yeah.
You're
Say
mic'd
quiet.
up, man.
How happy were you with all these like love shows on Netflix, the foreign like?
I haven't watched them.
Yeah.
I don't watch love shows. Look, let me get it straight. I don't. The Bachelorette is, or The Bachelor is now down to 3. I don't watch it past when it's real love. That's funny. But I don't watch it when they're choosing. I just watch the beginning when there's all the drama. The guys are fighting, the girls are, going crazy, and yeah, I don't watch it for the love.
So you watched like the first few episodes when they show up like in costume.
Basically, and there's like 30 of them, and
What would you do
what do you mean?
if you had to? Do it,
If I was The
entrance?
Bachelor, or if I was coming on to The Bachelorette?
if you were on The Bachelorette and you were like opening night, you got out of the limo, what
Yeah,
would you do?
I would bring.
Would you be a normal person or would you like?
Well, yeah, I'd be myself with a fishing rod, and
You'd
I'd
be-
throw a big musky lure at her.
No, you would.
Wow, maybe without hooks. And then make some corny joke about, oh, what a catch.
You know this. you know, this year we had a guy from Quebec who's doing a love show, like Jordan Bollier.
Jordan.
Like he's like a
That doesn't surprise me for some reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
So what?
That show's huge in Quebec. Yeah.
huge. Everybody
Oh, it's a
watches it.
Quebec show?
Yeah, it's a Quebec show, and
So
he
is it
did a
like
pretty
The
good job.
Bachelor,
He didn't
Bachelorette?
look stupid in the show, which is pretty rare. That people go there and look.
Yeah, 'cause that's usually what they try
They're
to do.
trying to make you look. Like they're gonna take all the funny parts from it, so it's usually not your best moments, right? So, but he did a pretty good job. Of course, I watch every season.
That's what.
Did he
Goose
win?
told me the same thing. He's like, it's huge. Like everybody in Quebec watches it. Like.
Yeah.
What's it called? What's it called?
Occupation Double. So there's not much
In
people of our group age that don't watch it.
It's not even.
No, but there's a word.
It's like at a house.
No, it's literally
Different
only-
places.
Okay, you say it, because you speak French.
They,
I don't know what he just said.
But you're.
They don't translate it. It's only.
No, you say it in French.
What's it called?
Occupation Double.
Occupation double.
Oh, so double occupation?
Well, yeah, but see that it doesn't even translate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I get that. That blows my mind. How is there not a word to describe things in another language
This is just a name.
within the same country? Like we're all Canadian, and they're always like, "Oh, there's no word to describe that in English."
Yeah, but there's phrase to describe it though.
Yeah.
Like so, it's there's just not one
Blows my
specific
mind.
word sometimes, but like a group
Right.
of words can make up for it. It's what the weirdest
like
thing
a
for
lot of
me.
work.
The weirdest thing for me when I go from French to English, it's all those expressions that I got in French.
Sarcasm.
I'll just or sarcasm,
Yeah.
but I picked it up with
Yeah,
sarcasm.
you're good at sarcasm.
Yeah, decent.
Is he?
Decent, but
That's strong.
when
17%. Sorry.
but you're supposed to have it with
I
something.
forgot I had
think.
coffee last time.
You need to bring the expert in.
forgot I had coffee sometime.
Are you supposed to drink it by itself? Bring the expert, Josh.
Well, it looks like you're getting just like a.
I mean, we finished it, so
You
clearly.
Okay, cream of the crop. Best video game. What do you guys think? Growing up.
Growing up?
I think growing. Let's
console and then go like.
yes. Let's go earliest and then work our way up.
It has to be like console for me. N64 and the original Xbox, like hands down.
What about Sega?
The Genesis, like Sega Genesis. I only really played. What's that hedgehog? Sonic. Sonic is the hedgehog. Sonic is the hedgehog on Sega. N64 and Xbox.
N64 gold member.
GoldenEye.
Goldeneye.
Yeah, golden.
Yeah,
That's
GoldenEye.
the movie. Yeah,
Goldmember was that
yeah.
Austin Powers.
Good movie.
yeah, good movie.
GoldenEye,
also. GoldenEye, yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd go for Mario Kart.
N64, yeah.
Yeah, and the Don't Drink and Drive version is actually pretty good. You know that game?
No.
You never played Don't Drink and Drive at Mario Kart? Okay, so here's
Do we have an N64?
there's like two versions. Okay? So first version is before you can. So when the race starts, you cannot touch your remote until you chug the beer.
Okay.
Or it could be take a sip if you want to play a weaker version.
You can't drive, so the only time you can drink beer is when you're not driving. Or like you're not touching your controller. Right?
Exactly, and if you get hit by a shell, you also gotta start drinking.
Oh my.
Yeah, until you're
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but you cannot touch your remote until you're finished
So
drinking.
you can drive, get a head start, and then stop and then chug your
Yeah, some people do it at every lap, or like there's like think about all the possibilities, guys.
Go home and play some Mario Kart. For N64, Ocarina of Time, man, Zelda.
Oh yeah,
That was a dope game.
Classic.
Unreal.
I pushed towards Perfect Dark for 64. That was it was like Bond, but it was the first game I think that had computer simulation people that you could go against if you didn't want to go against each other.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it wasn't.
Was that
great.
like Tom Clancy?
No.
That was Ghost Recon.
Yeah, it was Ghost Recon.
Which was also a sweet game too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like hot for like a small amount of time,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I didn't have a gaming console until I was in university,
Yeah.
and I had GameCube.
And then Xbox, Halo. That's pretty much the only reason why I say the original Xbox is because the Halo franchise was like.
I think Call of Duty. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, hands down the best. One of my favorite games in high school.
Halo was an Xbox exclusive.
Well, what about Tony Hawk though?
System Link, you get like four.
The original Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
Was it on Xbox?
Yeah,
No, that was on PlayStation.
and PlayStation. No, that's right. It was PlayStation 2. Yeah.
And 64. That's right.
It came out on N64 first. I had that. Yeah.
Nothing better than doing a backflip in the warehouse.
Yeah, those games were sweet.
Yeah,
man.
they were.
Tony Hawk.
What about computer game?
Awesome. Computer game? I never really played computer games.
No, I haven't played like.
Diablo.
Oh
The big
wow!
Diablo.
Yeah. I liked like all the Blizzard stuff. It's pretty good, like StarCraft,
Like
Warcraft.
StarCraft too.
There were some really good Star Wars games on computers too, actually.
Yeah. I like computer games are good. Even the whole like point and click stuff that they
yeah.
had. Like I don't know if you ever played Monkey Island.
Nope.
It's actually
Is that the one where you're throwing bananas at each other? And no. That's a different monkey one.
good guess.
You know, you're in the cities and you gotta
No.
find your angle and your launch thing.
No, it's like just
You know
like
what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Worms. That was on Nintendo 64 too.
Okay, they had the computer game too.
So I think look at all those games that pops up from Nintendo 64. So that's clearly the best console
Oh
ever
yeah.
made.
And then you think of all the like even Mario Tennis,
N64, yeah, Mario Tennis.
like all the
Tennis.
Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Mario
That was a big
Party.
one. Yeah, that was a big one.
Mario 64 too.
Yeah, Super Mario.
That's
Super
true,
Mario
yeah.
64.
Yeah, Donkey Kong. So, all the games.
Yeah,
No, not all the games. There was some awful
Yeah, I don't
games
know.
on 64.
You can. They're all pretty good.
I really love like the Super Nintendo too, and like, the console previous to that. Like all Nintendos were.
I used to have to rent 64 from Blockbuster back in the day because we didn't have one.
That's
So
right,
we
you could
we
do
rent
that.
it for 24 hours and just play it straight.
Yeah.
For 24 hours, just play as much as we can.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's so
we
weird.
used to go to
You want to get a
like,
whole
Blockbuster
console
and
to play
Rogers
for
Video, yeah.
one day.
Even just like the movie industry in general. Like we used to go and have to like fight off like
But see, I like that.
30
though.
other people for the
Yeah,
last copy,
right.
like a new release
Yeah.
on a Friday night.
Yeah.
I was the worst kid, man. I'd going to the like video, like for shopping for DVDs and stuff.
Yeah.
I was spending always an hour there and always take the same movie when I was a kid.
But that made you watch the movie. I find that nowadays I haven't watched from the start to the finish.
You're right.
Like paid attention to the whole thing in years.
Yeah, only when you go to the cinema. That's right.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like watch it straight.
No.
You're always gonna watch it in parts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. It's really nice to catch up.
Yeah, this is great, fantastic. Thought I was done with you.
Yeah. No, I thought so too.
You're giving me
Remember, don't